We all have our favorite people, and my grandpa is one of mine. He's not just my grandpa, he's a friend, a teacher, and someone I can always count on. My name is Kiersten, and I'm doing a biography on my grandpa, Daryl Klaassen. He was born in Sibley, Iowa on September 27, 1951. He weighed 8.2 pounds, and he was born with reddish blonde hair and blue eyes. His dad was Kenneth Eldon Klaassen, and his mom is Hilda Lucille Van Western. His sister is Karen, which is the oldest, and his brothers are Roger, the second child, and Douglas, the fourth child, or the youngest. For his childhood memories, he remembers going to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, Niagara Falls, and Philadelphia in the 1960s. He played a lot of basketball in the barn, baseball, and after church on Sundays, he would go to other people's houses to play ball. He fed the pigs, milked 2 cows by hand, and for about a year or two, his dad gave the boys each a pig. 4th of July, they went downtown to watch fireworks and had a church picnic around the 4th. There was ice cream, food, and then they played ball. He lived in an old square country farmhouse, and they didn't have an indoor toilet until the early 70s. He remembered being chased by a bull and having to slide under a fence to get away. They celebrated birthdays with cake and ice cream, and everyone would come over. There was always a big Klassen reunion at Christmas time where they went to each other's houses and had a big potluck. His favorite toys were erector sets, toy farm equipment, tractors, wagons, and airplanes. He lived in 1334 Jackson Avenue, which is where he still lives now. Him and his brother Roger had a Cushman motor scooter, and they would drive all over looking for jobs, to walk beans, and look for girls. They would give them rides and call it going girling. He had a pet calf he rode so much it got a sway back, farm cats, and a dog named Rover. His favorite meal his mother made was scalloped potatoes, ham, and onions. School years. He started school at 4 years old. There was no kindergarten, you went straight to first grade. You went to country school until 3rd grade, until they painted all the country schools and put them in a circle where the bus barn is now, and they called it Disneyland. His favorite subject was history and science. His mom brought them to school. Sometimes they rode a bike. Then after the country school, they took the bus. He didn't really have extracurricular activities. His favorite school memory was 11:30 mealtime when there was hot dogs on the menu. His least favorite school memory was when he got in a fight with a kid and was mouthing off to him. Then he got punched in the face and got a nosebleed. His graduation memory was when they held graduation for 10 minutes. Growing up, he would describe himself as an average teenager. He went cruising down Main Street and went to the movies. Popular clothes were Nehru jackets, jeans, t-shirts, and boys liked wearing engineer boots, but the school didn't allow it. Popular music was bebop, Elvis, and the British Invasion. Beyond graduation, he went to trade school to be an auto mechanic, went to college in Brookings, then the University of Omaha. Vietnam War was going on and they had a lottery system, and he drew a high number so he didn't have to go to Vietnam, so him and his buddies partied. For employment, his first job was a mechanic in Omaha, Nebraska. He worked on ice cream trucks. Other jobs he had was DGNR and a farmer. DGNR was the best job because he liked the people. And he said that an important thing about learning how to choose a career is if you don't like it, get out of it before you're too deep into it. Marriage and children. He met his spouse at the Sportsman's Bar. They were married on March 30th, 2000, the last day he had to pay taxes. They lived in 1334 Jackson Avenue, where he was born and still living there. His wedding colors, they did not have wedding colors because they were married by the JP. Their honeymoon was in Jamaica. The homes they lived in was just 1334 Avenue, and over the years it's changed from remodeling once about 7 years ago. Important things he learned about marriage was learning to share, and he tried to pass down to his children the value of money and not to lie. Things he enjoyed about being a grandparent was watching us grow up, but it's sad because the older we get, the older he gets. Traditions he hopes that grandchildren and children continue is Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, which is most important to him, and being with family. Best remembered trips as grandchildren or growing up was Disney World, Disneyland, and Wisconsin Dells. Other areas in life. His first house was $16,000 with acreage. Organizations that he was in was the FFA, and he partied afterwards. Friendships have enriched his life by socialization. He enjoyed fishing as an adult. A hobby or skill he wants to teach grandchildren is farming, how things grow, animals, and how to tell when animals are sick. Historic events that affected his life was the Vietnam War, because he might have had to go to a war that sucked. The greatest accomplishment in life was making it to 65 years old. Things that made him happiest in life was getting up in the morning and being alive and having good health. The best day of his life was getting married, and the worst day was losing a close person. Comments about growing up is listen to your folks. About 95% of the time they're right. Things that are different now is no electronics. Your computer was as big as a refrigerator. There was 3 channels on the TV, and kids always played outside. Similarities between his grandchildren and him as a teen was when he was 18, he thought he knew more than his dad, not wanting to listen and arguing with his parents. If Daryl could change something, he would have not drank so much and partied so hard. He would have also listened to his parents more. Thank you.